I stared at the empty chair beside my hospital bed where Erica had sat every single day for the past 3 months. Her gentle voice the only steady thing in my sea of blank days. But now she was gone without a word, and the note on the table simply read, "I'm sorry, Ruby." The fog in my head was finally lifting in painful flashes, and with it came the crushing realization that the woman who had fed me, read to me, and held my shaking hands through endless nightmares wasn't some kind nurse or distant friend. She was my wife, the one I had promised forever to in a quiet courthouse 2 years earlier. My heart slammed against my ribs as another memory hit. Our small apartment in Columbus, Erica's laugh echoing off the walls while she cooked pasta on a Sunday afternoon. The way she'd kiss my forehead and whisper that no matter what my family said, our love was real. But my family, God, the thought of them sent ice through my veins. Mom's voice from childhood sermons rang in my ears about sin and temptation, and the narrow path. How could I have forgotten all of that? How could I have built a life with Erica in secret, hiding rings and kisses like they were crimes? The doctor walked in then, clipboard in hand, and I barely heard him say the MRI looked good, that retrograde amnesia was retreating faster than expected. All I could focus on was the empty space where Erica should have been. 3 months ago the car crash on Route 33 had erased everything. My job at the library, my childhood in this same Ohio town, even my own name for the first week. Erica had shown up at the hospital claiming to be a coworker, offering to help with rehabilitation because Ruby doesn't have close family nearby right now. The lie had worked. My mother and brother flew in from their church retreat only last week, and suddenly Erica started making excuses, arriving later each evening until one morning the chair was just empty. I pressed the call button, voice shaking. Where did she go? The nurse gave me a sympathetic look and said Erica had left a forwarding address for my things, but no phone number. My mother arrived an hour later, Bible tucked under her arm like armor, her face lined with worry that looked too much like judgment. Thank the Lord your memory is coming back, Ruby Ann. We've been praying nonstop. Pastor Daniels wants to see you as soon as you're discharged. I nodded because what else could I do? But inside, the new old memories clawed at me. Erica's hand in mine at our secret wedding, the way she'd said, "I do," like it was the bravest thing either of us had ever done. That night in the hospital bed I didn't sleep. I kept seeing flashes. The first time I met Erica at the community college night class on American literature, how her quiet confidence had drawn me in despite every sermon I'd ever heard warning about that lifestyle. We'd fought it for months, praying together, crying together, until love proved stronger than fear. Now the fear was back, louder, wearing my mother's face. By morning the discharge papers were signed. Mom drove me home to the house I grew up in, the one with the cross above the door and the smell of pot roast and guilt. I clutched the small duffel Erica had packed for me, and wondered if the woman I loved had disappeared to protect me, or to protect herself from what was coming. The town looked exactly as the returning memories painted it. White steeple church on Main Street, American flags on every porch, neighbors waving like nothing had changed. But everything had. I was Ruby again, daughter of the choir director, raised to believe marriage was between one man and one woman, that feelings like mine were tests from the devil. Yet every cell in my body remembered Erica's arms around me the night before the crash, the way she'd whispered, "Whatever happens tomorrow, you're my wife. Nothing can change that." Now she was gone, and I was left holding both halves of a life that could never fit together. Mom chattered about prayer meetings and how the congregation had lifted me up, but I barely heard her. All I could think was, "Erica, where are you?" And more terrifying, what am I supposed to do now that I remember I chose you over everything? The first week home passed in a haze of casseroles and scripture. Mom kept the house filled with church ladies who patted my hand and told me God had spared me for a purpose. My brother Caleb dropped by every evening after his shift at the auto shop, cracking jokes that didn't reach his eyes. He'd always been the golden son, the one who married his high school sweetheart in the same church where we were baptized. I smiled through it all while my mind replayed stolen weekends with Erica in Cleveland, far enough from prying eyes that we could walk hand in hand without whispers. One afternoon I found the wedding photo hidden in the bottom of the duffel Erica had left. There we were in simple white dresses at the courthouse, rings glinting, faces radiant with the kind of joy that scared me now. I traced her smile and felt the old panic rise. The same panic that had made us keep everything secret after Mom caught me crying over a girl in high school and sat me down with the pastor for 6 weeks of counseling. Back then I'd promised to change. I'd dated boys, gone to Bible study, buried the truth so deep I almost believed the lie. Until Erica. Memory after memory crashed in while I sat on my childhood bed surrounded by posters of youth group retreats. The way Erica had held me the night I told her about my family's beliefs, how she hadn't pushed, just listened and said, "I love you enough to wait until you're ready to tell them." We waited 2 years. Then the crash happened before we could find the courage. Now she was protecting me again by disappearing, I was sure of it. She must have seen my mother's arrival and known the storm was coming. I started driving around town in the old Honda Mom loaned me, hoping to spot Erica's blue Prius. The library where we both worked looked the same. Stone steps, oak doors, the scent of books that always calmed me. My supervisor welcomed me back part-time, but her eyes held questions she was too polite to ask. "Erica hasn't been in since your accident," she said carefully. Said she needed time off for family reasons. Family. The word twisted in my chest. I was her family. The rings proved it. That evening Mom found me in the kitchen staring at the photo I'd hidden in my pocket. She didn't see it, but she saw the tears. "Honey, whatever you're struggling with, give it to the Lord. The devil uses confusion to pull us away from his path." Her voice was soft, full of love, and that made it worse. I wanted to scream that the only confusion was trying to be two people at once. Instead I hugged her and went upstairs, locking the door so I could whisper Erica's name into the dark like a prayer I wasn't supposed to say. The flashbacks grew stronger every night. I remembered the fight we had 3 months before the crash, me wanting to come out. Erica worried my family would disown me, and she'd lose me forever. "I'd rather have you in secret than not at all," she'd said, crying. I'd held her and promised we'd find a way. Then the drunk driver ran the red light and took my memories, leaving Erica to pick up every shattered piece without anyone knowing she had the most to lose. Caleb noticed I was quiet. Over coffee one morning he said, "You've changed, sis. The accident shook you, but it's like you're carrying something heavier." I almost told him. The words sat on my tongue. Erica is my wife, I love her, and I don't know how to stop. But the fear of his disappointment, of Mom's heartbreak, of the whole congregation praying for my deliverance, choked them back. So I smiled and said I was just tired. Inside, the war raged louder. Every time I closed my eyes I saw Erica's face the last time she visited the hospital. Pale, determined, telling me she'd always be there even if I never remembered. She'd kept that promise until the day my memories started returning. Then she left so I wouldn't have to choose. I found her old voicemail saved on a burner phone she'd given me for emergencies. Her voice soft and steady. "Hey love, just checking you made it home safe. Can't wait to hold you tonight." I listened to it on repeat until the battery died, tears soaking my pillow. The woman who had cared for me when I was nobody to myself had vanished to give me a chance at the life my family wanted for me. The question that kept me awake was whether I still wanted that life now that I remembered how much I loved her. Pastor Daniels came for dinner on Friday, his kind eyes and deep voice exactly as I remembered from childhood. Mom had roasted chicken and set the table with her best china like this was a celebration instead of an intervention. After the blessing he turned to me. "Ruby, the Lord has given you back your mind. That's no accident. He wants you whole, free from anything that might lead you astray." The words landed like stones in still water. I knew what anything meant. They'd suspected something years ago when I stopped dating after college. Now my silence felt like confirmation. I tried to eat but the food tasted like cardboard. Mom reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "We love you, baby. Whatever confusion the accident stirred up, we'll walk through it together." Her love was real. That was the worst part. She wasn't angry, she was terrified for my soul. Pastor Daniels shared stories of people who'd struggled with same-sex attraction, and found peace through prayer and community. Caleb nodded along, his wife watching me with worried sympathy. I wanted to shout that love wasn't a struggle. It was Erica reading to me when I couldn't remember my own name. Erica holding my hair back when the pain meds made me sick. Erica whispering that I was enough exactly as I was. Instead I excused myself, and went to the porch. The night air smelled of cut grass and distant rain. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I hope you're healing. Please don't look for me. You deserve the life you were raised for. My knees buckled. Erica. She was watching from somewhere, making sure I was safe with my family while ripping her own heart out. I typed back with shaking fingers. I remember everything. Come home. No reply. That night I dreamed of our wedding night. Simple Chinese takeout in our apartment. Erica's head on my shoulder while we watched old movies. The way she'd traced the ring on my finger and said, "Till death do us part, but not even that if I can help it." Waking up felt like drowning. Mom found me crying at 3 a.m. and held me like I was still her little girl. "Whatever it is, Jesus can carry it," she whispered. I cried harder because I was starting to wonder if she was right. If my love for Erica was the temptation the Bible warned about, the thorn in my flesh meant to draw me closer to God. But then I'd remember the peace I felt only in Erica's arms, and the guilt flipped again. Sunday service was torture. The choir sang Amazing Grace, while I sat in the same pew where I'd made my confirmation promise to stay pure. Eyes turned my way with pitying smiles. After the sermon, Pastor Daniels asked me to stay for prayer. He laid hands on my head and prayed for deliverance from unnatural desires. My mother wept beside me. I felt split in two, one half wanting to run to Erica, the other half terrified that doing so would damn us both. Monday I went back to the library for a few hours. The head librarian quietly told me Erica had resigned by email the day after my mother arrived. No notice, no explanation. I spent my lunch break in the stacks where we used to steal kisses between shifts, touching the shelf where she'd once pressed me against the books and whispered, "I love you more than I fear losing you." The memory hurt so much I had to leave early. Caleb picked me up and drove me to the park where we used to play as kids. "Talk to me, Ruby. You're scaring us." I almost broke. The words were there. I married a woman. Her name is Erica and she's the best thing that ever happened to me. But I saw the cross hanging from his rearview mirror and swallowed them. "Just adjusting," I lied. He hugged me hard. "We're family. We'll get through this." That night I sat on the roof like I did as a teenager, staring at the stars and whispering the question no one could answer. If God is love, why does loving Erica feel like both salvation and sin? The wind carried no reply, only the distant sound of the church bell tolling 9. Somewhere in the same town Erica was probably packing boxes, convinced she was doing the right thing by setting me free. I wondered who was more lost, her or me. I couldn't stay still anymore. On Tuesday I drove to the apartment complex on the east side where Erica and I had lived before the crash. The landlord recognized me and let me in after I explained the memory loss. Our place was empty, cleaned out except for one box in the closet labeled "For Ruby, if you remember." Inside were our wedding rings, a stack of love letters I'd written her, and a single photo of us kissing under fireworks on the 4th of July. I sat on the bare floor and sobbed until my chest ached. The letters were full of fear and hope. In one I'd written, "I know my family would never accept us, but I can't imagine a heaven without you in it." Erica had kept every one. At the bottom was a note in her handwriting. "If you're reading this, you remember. Please know I left because I love you too much to watch them break you. Find your peace, my love. I'll always be yours." I drove straight to Mom and showed her the rings. The silence that followed lasted forever. Her face went white. "Ruby, and what is this?" The truth spilled out in shaking sentences. The secret relationship, the courthouse wedding, Erica's months of care while I was lost. Mom sat down hard, clutching her Bible. "This is the enemy's deception. The accident confused you. We'll pray it away." But her voice cracked, and I saw the real pain underneath the doctrine, fear that she'd failed as a mother. Pastor Daniels came over that same night. The four of us sat in the living room like a tribunal. He listened without interrupting, then spoke gently. "Ruby, same-sex attraction is real and it's a heavy cross. But acting on it separates us from God. Your mother and I only want eternal life for you." Caleb added, "We love you no matter what, but we can't support something the Bible calls sin." Their words weren't cruel. They were desperate. They truly believed they were saving me from hell. I argued back for the first time. What if love is the point? What if God made me this way? The pastor quoted Leviticus and Romans with kindness, not anger. Mom cried and said, "I carried you in my womb. I know the girl God created. This isn't her." Their sincerity cracked my defiance. Maybe they were right. Maybe Erica and I had been deceived by feelings. But then I remembered her voice reading to me in the hospital, and the certainty returned. The next 3 days were filled with prayer sessions, counseling appointments, and quiet tears. I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes I saw Erica's face the day she left, resigned, loving, broken. I started searching online for her, checking old email accounts, social media under her maiden name. Nothing. She'd gone dark to make it easier for me. On Friday I found her new number through a mutual friend at the library, who finally took pity on me. I called from the car in the Walmart parking lot, heart hammering. Erica answered on the second ring. "Ruby." Her voice broke on my name. "Please don't do this. Your family." "I remember us." I cut in. "I remember everything. I want you. I need you." Silence stretched. Then, "I'm in Cleveland. But Ruby, they'll never accept us. You'll lose them. I can't be the reason you lose your mother." I hung up and drove north without telling anyone. The 2-hour drive gave me time to replay every argument, every tear, every moment of love. When I pulled up to the modest duplex she'd rented, Erica was waiting on the porch, arms wrapped around herself like she was holding her own pieces together. We didn't speak at first. She just opened the door, and I stepped into her arms. The kiss tasted like salt and home. We spent the weekend in Cleveland talking until our voices gave out. Erica told me how she'd posed as my co-worker to stay close after the crash, how every night she'd driven home crying because she couldn't tell my family the truth. "I watched your mother hold your hand and pray for you, and I knew if they found out they'd take you away. So I left before they could make you choose." I held her face in my hands. "I'm choosing now. I choose you." But choices have teeth. Sunday night my phone exploded with messages. Mom had found the note I left saying I needed space, and had called every relative. Caleb's text was short. "Where are you? Mom hasn't stopped crying." I turned the phone off and curled into Erica's side, letting her warmth chase away the guilt for one more night. Monday morning reality crashed in. Mom drove all the way to Cleveland. 4 hours of prayer and panic. She showed up at the duplex with Pastor Daniels and Caleb in tow. The confrontation happened on the tiny front lawn while neighbors pretended not to watch. Mom looked 10 years older. "Ruby, come home. This woman is confusing you. We can get you help." Erica stood beside me, quiet and strong, but I felt her trembling. I tried to explain how the love felt more real than any sermon, how hiding it had almost killed me before the accident. Pastor Daniels spoke with genuine sorrow. "We're not here to hate. We're here because we love you enough to fight for your soul." Caleb just looked hurt. "You lied to us for years, sis." The words flew back and forth for an hour. Mom quoted scripture. I quoted the way Erica had cared for me when no one else could. No one yelled. The pain was too deep for yelling. In the end, Mom took my hands. "If you stay here, I can't watch you walk away from God. It will break me." Her eyes were full of real terror. For me, for eternity. I saw in that moment that she wasn't the villain. She was a mother who believed with every fiber that she was losing her child to darkness. Erica stepped forward then. "Ma'am, I love your daughter more than my own life. I never wanted to hurt you. But I won't let her live a lie anymore." Mom looked at her with something close to pity. "Then you're both choosing the wide path." They left without me. I watched the car disappear and felt the first real crack in my chest. Erica pulled me inside and held me while I cried for the mother I might have just lost. That night we lay awake talking about the future. Maybe moving farther away. Maybe finding a new church that welcomed us. But the joy I expected to feel was hollowed out by the image of Mom's tears. Tuesday brought more calls. Caleb said Mom hadn't eaten since she got home. The church had started a prayer chain for my restoration. Each message chipped away at my certainty. Erica saw it. "You can go back," she whispered one night, voice thick. "I'll understand." But the thought of leaving her again felt like dying. Wednesday I drove home alone to talk to Mom. She opened the door looking frail. We sat at the kitchen table where I'd done homework as a child. I love Erica, I said quietly. But I love you too. I don't know how to make both true. Mom reached for my hand. The Bible is clear, baby. But so is my love for you. If you choose this life, I'll pray for you every day. I just can't pretend it's right. Her honesty broke something in me. There was no villain here, just two truths that couldn't coexist. I went back to Cleveland that night torn in half. Erica met me at the door with open arms, but I saw the fear in her eyes. She knew what my visit meant. We made love for the first time since the memories returned. Gentle, desperate, full of all the words we couldn't say. Afterward she held me and said, "Whatever you decide, I'll carry my part of the pain." The decision came on a rainy Thursday in early October. I woke up beside Erica and knew I couldn't keep pretending the guilt wasn't eating me alive. I loved her with everything I had, but I also loved the mother who had raised me on hymns and hope. Choosing one meant losing the other, and both losses would be forever. I told Erica over coffee at our tiny kitchen table, "I need time. Not forever. Just time to figure out who I am when no one is pulling me in two directions." Her eyes filled but she nodded. "I've always known this might happen. I'll wait. Or I'll let you go if that's what you need. Just promise me you won't hate yourself either way." We cried together, packed a small bag for me, and I drove south with the wedding ring still on my finger. Mom welcomed me home without questions. The first month was quiet, church on Sundays, long talks with the pastor, evenings helping Mom in the garden. The pain never left. I missed Erica every second. Some nights I sat in my car and listened to her old voicemails just to hear her voice. Caleb checked on me daily, bringing coffee and awkward hugs. "We're glad you're home," he said once. "But you look like you're grieving." I was. Erica respected the space. She sent one letter. "I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready, whether that's next year or never, I'll be here. You gave me the greatest gift by remembering us. I'll carry that forever." I kept the letter under my pillow. 6 months later I still don't have answers. Mom and I pray together every morning. Sometimes I feel peace. Sometimes I feel like I'm suffocating. Erica started a new job in Cleveland and sends me pictures of sunsets she thinks I'd like. I send back pictures of the garden. We don't talk about coming back together. Not yet. I wear both rings now, one on each hand. My family pretends not to notice. The congregation still prays for me, and I let them because their love is real even if their understanding isn't. Erica's love is real too. I'm learning that maybe the point isn't choosing a side that wins. Maybe the point is learning to live with the pieces that don't fit, and still choosing to be kind to everyone, including myself. In the end, was it braver to walk away from the woman who saved me, or to walk away from the faith and family that shaped me? I still don't know. And maybe that's the truest thing I've remembered.